We have the Packers and the Chiefs Monday Night Football prime time, and this was a game I did not expect to turn out the way it did, to be honest.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So I'll just go ahead and frame this. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers finally beating the Chiefs? This is a team that the Packers have, oddly enough, historically struggled against. I
Yeah.
think the
Except in
all-time
Super
record.
Bowl one.
Right. Well, that's what's funny about it because they have the most high-profile win
Yeah.
over the Chiefs that they could possibly have. But since then, I think they had only won like 2 games against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was like the overall record going into this was like 3-10. I think there was a tie. I remember looking that up. And obviously, the last high-profile game was the Chiefs broke the Packers' undefeated record 4 years
Yep. The
ago,
only
which
loss
is
was the
right,
Chiefs. Yeah.
right, which is just this weird kind of, I guess, unusual bit of rivalry, I guess, between these two teams that could realistically only meet once every 4 years or in a Super
I
Bowl.
can't even consider them
So
really a rival
it's not
because of
really a
how rare
rivalry.
they play
It's
each other. The last time they played each other, I think, was like
so
2012 or 2013.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's not really, I guess, rivalry. It's just an unusual history, I guess,
Yeah.
between two teams that have barely played. Like considering how successful the Packers have been historically versus the Chiefs, that the Packers would have such a bad record against them is interesting to me. But
Yeah, I mean, I think more so to take out of finally getting a Green Bay win, or
right.
even more than just Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers getting a win from the Chiefs. He now has two other teams to beat in the NFL to beat every team.
Right.
So, like that. I mean, but that's such a
And one of those
side.
teams is the Packers, right?
Right.
So you can't.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. To be honest, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think another repeat of Brett Favre will
Right.
happen with Rodgers.
I
But I
wonder if
mean,
he'll
who
have that
knows?
that same problem because Breeze has seemed to be plagued by the Baltimore Ravens. It's actually the only team that Drew Brees hasn't ever beat, and that seems to happen sometimes with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That they'll have like a team. I think Peyton Manning. Maybe there's another quarterback if you go back, maybe or Brett Favre and Peyton Manning maybe are the only two that have beaten every team.
Yep.
So yeah, if there's another one way back there, then they might have beaten every team that existed then, I guess. But since the Texans are in '02, but
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, and there's a lot of I guess riots because I mean not only did they beat the Chiefs, but they also won at home still. So
right,
right now Packers have the longest streak of winning at home. Saints
we
had
said
it,
it right. And
last year.
Seattle and the Saints were kind of rivaling each other for it for a while there,
Yeah,
and Green Bay's kind of Green Bay's got the best home field advantage right now.
because I think going even from previously last year and postseason, they have 14 games at Lambeau
Right.
without
Well,
losing.
and Rodgers hasn't even thrown an interception there. And
No, since
such a
2012.
right. That's crazy.
And then
Of course,
on another opposite spectrum, Rodgers hasn't thrown an interception since 2012. Alex Smith got his first touchdown since
yeah.
2013 to a wide
True.
receiver.
That's
Kind of just bizarre little tidbit stats all over the place for this game, and I think that's what
right.
made it more interesting.
That was probably the only thing that went right for the Chiefs, though. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean,
it
Jamal
was a
Charles
pretty
had
hefty beatdown. He
uh,
did have a better game,
Jamal
good
Charles
game,
had 3 touchdowns, but
right?
despite getting 3 touchdowns, realistically, Packers defense. I mean, I can talk a lot about Packers defense. They
Sure.
stopped Jamal Charles pretty damn well, about as well as they stopped Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
It almost makes me wonder by mid-season, by the end of the season, uh, Packers might have a top run defense this year. The fact that they can
Well,
take out two of the top tier running backs and stopping them from doing like big time damage like that is pretty impressive.
what's his name in the backfield? Is it Morgan Burnett? I think
Yeah,
it's injured.
yeah,
And you're talking about I mean, rushing. Once he comes back, even the pass defense. I mean, he's one of the best safeties. You know, secondary players in the league, really. Um,
Well, not only that, but even with him being gone, Demarius Randall, a
right,
rookie,
right.
I mean,
stepped up. He
stepped
has.
up big time, made big plays. He lit up what made him just fucking throw the ball out of his hands. I mean, like
Right.
just like
Right.
I mean the biggest hit of the game, and I was a rookie. That can't be more happy of how well they stepped up. I was actually kind of talking shit about Sam Shields, saying that like, oh man, he's making a lot of mistakes. He's not playing that well. Well, he played great. Clay Matthews has been playing great. Mike
Sure.
Neal's playing great. Mike Daniels playing great. BJ Raji's been playing great. Julius Peppers is still doing really good.
Yeah.
You could name off so many people in our defense, and they're playing good, which is kind of amazing because Kansas City came into this game with the better defense. you know?
Yeah. On paper,
Uh,
BJ Raji's actually an uh, interesting name you threw out there because he's really returned to form.
yeah.
I mean, I've actually been pretty impressed watching him because he looks like he lost some weight. You know, kind of maybe start taking the game a little bit more serious. Honestly,
Maybe, or he got tired of being injured all the time and actually wants to
yes,
stay a full season and help out.
yeah. Either way, the Packers obviously. I guess the big summary of everything you said thus far is they're playing good. You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
And that's the thing is, you know, you sit there and I will give the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt. Fourth quarter, they actually looked pretty good. The Chiefs
right.
did. But at the same time, I think Packers just kind of slowed down. Like, they knew the game was in the bag.
Oh, they did. They let off the gas for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to sit there and they already sacked Alex Smith 7 times in the game. Like, what, you want to go for 9? You want to go for 10 sacks at this point?
Sure, if you got Packers defense on your fantasy team, you're like, hell yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, and I do. So that's a good.
But
But I'm just saying, Packers defense played phenomenally. Packers special teams played phenomenally. Aaron Rodgers had 5
played
touchdowns.
yeah,
You know, Randall Cobb had 3 touchdowns. Like,
Right.
well, you go over any aspect, and the Chiefs didn't have a chance. And this is like a good team. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
For all the stuff we've said about gushing over the Packers and talked about how good they are, the Chiefs aren't bad.
Yeah.
They made a decent team, a potential playoff contender.
yeah.
I doubt seriously they're contending for the division, but like a wild card contender. They made a playoff bound team potentially look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really hard to do. And what's more surprising to me is the fact that coming into this game, the Chiefs' defense just looks scary. I mean, almost as scary as Seattle or Arizona or Buffalo. I mean, it's a terrible defense to play against, and the fact that they allowed 5 touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
and on top of that, he makes it look easy. I mean,
Yeah.
there was no, like, so many times, and I kind of want to point this out for Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know whether to do it in this video. I kind of want to do it in our late call segment,
Okay.
and get into it, but I'll sum it up very shortly, at least in this video. Aaron Rodgers is playing smart. I mean, Brady has a lot of yards. Brady already broke 1,000 yards in 3 games. That's impressive.
Right.
He's on track breaking 5,000 yards easy.
He's
this season.
he's having his statistically best season thus far.
Yeah, I mean,
You gotta think that'll slow down, but still.
eventually. And despite, like, you give Brady, like, he has great stats. Actually, right now, Aaron Rodgers has 1 more touchdown over Brady, which that surprised me even, because I thought Brady was like just lights out in the touchdown game. Neither one of them have an interception
He
yet.
only had 2 this week, so that's probably
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither one has an interception yet for the season. But the thing is, what I'll say over Brady is that Rodgers is playing so smart. Like, incredibly, incredibly smart. Like, I mean, you want to talk about the smartest quarterbacks, you have Joe Montana. I thought, for the longest time, I thought Peyton Manning always had a 1 leg up over Aaron Rodgers. But this year, I think right now in the NFL, or you arguably history, I think Aaron Rodgers is the smartest quarterback that's played the game.
He definitely is right now. I don't know. I have to think about the history thing a little bit longer than 5 seconds. But yeah, he definitely is right now. I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Manning's still up there though, because honestly, he's I mean, he's winning games with less.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't want to take that away. Like, I actually feel bad for taking that title away from Manning because I thought he was held onto it for so many years. But I honestly just don't think that if you just want to talk about like the wits of the game and playing like
sure.
just calling out defenses, calling out the correct plays, audibling it at the correct times, throwing like neutral vote zone infractions and like getting the free plays downfield. I mean, there's just not a quarterback playing right now that is
Well,
comes even
between that and then
close.
the crowd is really into it, and I could tell watching the
Yeah,
game that man, just the crowd noise is really getting to opposing teams like bad.
yeah.
It's something that you usually only see in like domes or Seattle, maybe. Well, obviously in Seattle.
Arrowhead. That's what's crazy is that
Arrowhead,
like
yeah,
yeah, Kansas. I mean KC has the loudest stadium right now, which is
I have,
also not in a
yeah,
dome, but like they just could not adjust to the noise at Lambeau.
I have to say it would be an interesting game to see it in Arrowhead. Honestly,
Yeah.
to see how if it would go different. The Packers, I don't think are going to be too affected by playing road games, but they're another animal when they're at Lambeau Field. You know,
Yeah.
it's they're if the Super Bowl was at Lambeau Field, they would win it for sure. You know, like
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
That's honestly the best. I mean, I could probably go on about a lot of tidbits. I think another one thing I want to point out is a small shout out to Ty Montgomery getting his first career NFL, touchdown, and honestly, even beyond that, um, Ty took over for Devontae Adams for getting re-injured again and
yeah,
everything, and Devontae Adams has been a really big bust this year. Like
yeah.
realistically, like I mean, rookie season, there he had some plays where, uh, he ran the wrong routes or he looked the wrong way or whatever, and I just kind of let it pass him. Like, man, he's a rookie. He makes rookie mistakes, no big deal. But within just the first 3 games, even against Kansas City, the first I think pass Aaron Rodgers threw of the entire game was to Devontae Adams downfield, had him wide open, and it was supposed to be an over the shoulder throw, and Devontae looked the wrong way, and it's like
Yeah.
you're still making rookie mistakes, and this is your second year pro, and you're
Well,
supposed to be
that's
kind of like the go-to guy. If James Jones wasn't here, like you're supposed to be
right.
like the guy, and you're making these bad mistakes. So like he gets injured, and then Ty Montgomery, who is our rookie, comes in and looks stellar. Like he looks like he's been on the team for 3 or 4 years.
You might call the Devontae Adams thing the Trent Richardson effect. So
Too soon.
I mean, really, it's what I was just saying. Like a lot of it's they're talented, but just poor decision making on their part, really. And you have to. I mean, if you're going to be in the NFL and you're going to start, you have to make the right decision. If you get outplayed, that's one thing. I mean,
No.
that's one reason. I guess it's a good segue to say the Chiefs. If you're a Chiefs fan, though, kind of wrap this up. Not too much to get your head down about because hey, you went to Lambeau Field and you lost. Big fucking whoop. Everyone does. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say like these people like I mean next week Packers go to San Francisco. I can't imagine 49ers putting up too bad of a fight.
Uh,
But then you got back to back at Lambeau again, St. Louis and the Chargers, and I think if the Rams and the Chargers are looking a little ahead of their schedule, they're going, fuck, we have to go to Lambeau, and it's kind of a good feeling for Green Bay fans out there to be like, this year specifically. I mean, you had it last year,
I was
but
about to say I remember that feeling.
yeah, I mean, you had that.
Uh,
We started it last year, but you
uh,
go to this year, and it's literally to the point where people like they're dreading that you have to go to Lambeau. Like,
oh
well,
yeah.
let's try our best, I guess.
And on that note, I think that's a good conclusion.
That was a good conclusion. I'm excited. I've been happy around everything. You and I are complete polar opposites of what we can say about our, our home teams, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, shit happens.